What's going on, everybody? Football talk with Russell Wayne. Let's go. What's up, Eric? What's up, Barry? There it is. Look at that. Tight end one. Yeah. It is the morning sessions. We're a little bit late today. Had a little bit of an issue this morning doing everything. Main event Mike's called me on the phone. I'm trying to get everything all squared away, but we are here. We are here right now. It is the NFC North morning sessions I'm your host, Russell Wayne. And with me always is my host from Monday night, Main Event Mike, Emmy nominated. Main Event Mike. We cannot forget these things right here.
Follow me on Instagram or Threads at Main Event Mike.
At Main Event.
Threads, Russ. You got to get with the program. Threads.
I got to get with Threads. Anybody know anything about Threads out there? I don't know. Is that something that we should be jumping on? I really love being able to broadcast into these networks that we are broadcasting into, such as the Detroit Lions News. Let's get these guys up there. We got the Detroit Lions News. Thank you, Joe Chat, for allowing us to broadcast into your spot, because there's a lot of Lions fans in there, and we're hungry, and we're so hungry. We have our page just crossed over 1,000. Boom. You damn right we like that. And
that's
if you want
to, we're catching you. Only 54,000 to go.
Yeah, well, we got a long way to catch Joe, but yeah, you can go follow the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. That's where we're broadcasting live into there. We got content 365. If you're a Bear fan, then there's Mike the Bear fan. If you're into that thing, Hallis Hall Report. That is every Wednesday, and then they're going to be going every Sunday before the game. And then Bill the Packer fan. Yes, he is the favorite Packerhead. He is the affiliate of the Main Event, resident Packer fan. You can go follow him if you're into that kind of stuff. And if you're a Viking fan, then well, at least you have Justin Jefferson on your team, but it probably isn't going to end well for you this year. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you, Russ. Well, looking at those clips, you know what dawns on me? I hate the Green Bay Packers. I mean, I hate the Dallas Cowboys. I've always said it's my most hated team. But as now time goes on, and this whole Green Bay Packer fans that I'm starting to get intertwined with, if the Cowboys play the Packers, I'm rooting for the Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, we have to hate the Packers. I mean, they're really, it's like the evil empire, right?
Right.
I mean, but we have a whole bunch of dudes up front this year that are going to be getting after that Jordan Love. and we have a whole bunch of them that are going to be coming after the quarterback. I mean, come on, man. Is the hype? Is this just too much hype for the Lions? I'm starting to feel it even more and more as it goes day by day.
Who cares? After all the abysmal seasons we've endured, hope springs eternal, and we are drunk on hopium right now. Never before have the Lions been favored in 12 out of 17 games. It's absurd. So it's a dawn of a new day, hopefully. But of course, they start out 1-5. Who knows? I was looking at the schedule yesterday. We could be 1-5 or 5-1 after 6 games.
Yeah, I mean, you go in there and knock off the Super Bowl champ. It's going to be hard for me to not want to buy into, or anybody from the outside to want to buy into this team for the rest of the season. And there's just good news all over the place. And one of the things I wanted to say is this kid right here, after listening to this guy talk after that practice and knowing that he was one of those guys that was there first, learned all the playbook, and then was the last one to leave. And when they asked him if he was playing with a chip on his shoulder, his response was, shit, yeah. Shit, yeah. I've had Zach Wilson thrown. Now, he didn't say this part, but in his mind, he's probably like, shit, yeah. I've had Zach Wilson throwing me the football for the last 2 years, and you're blaming me.
Yeah, and I encourage Lions fans to go to YouTube, look up his highlight reel, and while you're there, subscribe to the Main Event 365. But look at his highlight reel on YouTube, and you will see the catches this guy's making: 50-50 balls, red zone target, tall, 6'3". And you can see why the Jets took him at number 59 overall in the second round. So you look at the stuff between the ears, like you're talking about, Russ. Great attitude, right? He's got a great attitude. He had Zach Wilson throwing him the ball, but he also had a major injury. And he's fully healthy now. He's back to form. Go watch his highlight reel before you go and poo-poo this move by Brad Holmes to bring Denzel Mims in, especially when you consider that Marvin Jones was moved to the PUP list 3 days after we signed him.
It was absolutely like a zero. I mean, there was no risk. If he doesn't make the team, there's no draft pick. There's nothing there's nothing exchanged. He just doesn't make the team, and everybody keeps their draft picks. We got Bear Down Mike says, way too much hype for the Lions. We will see. The North will be insane. And Jeremy says, let me in. I have more news. I don't know, Jeremy. The last couple of days.
By the hair on my shitty chin.
Jeremy could been coming in here the last couple of days throwing out like 99.9% like chances.
He tore his ACL. It's 99%.
He's done. He's probably done for the season, 8 weeks minimum. And then a day later, it comes out that, day to day. Like, he's going to be back at practice by the end of the week. Should we let him in?
Let him in. He's always good. He's got a good take. He's a good guy.
All right, Jim. I mean, well, he has more news. Should we try? I mean, is this going to?
Absolutely. I rely on Jeremy Ballreich for news.
Is this breaking
I know I'm
news?
not getting it here.
Well, we don't ever break any news anyway. We don't want to break no news. We just want to talk football. We do. But I did throw the link in for everybody that is watching across these platforms right here. Whether you're a Bear fan, you're watching on Mike the Bear fan, whatever, that link should work right there for you too if you want to come in and represent your team. And then here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Jeremy Ballreich.
Well, it doesn't help that it was misreported on Monday that he had a non-contact injury, because nobody saw that a player who's yet to be unnamed, Will Harris, stepped on his knee.
Well, and there we go. I have to call you for misreporting that too, because it has been massively reported that it was a non-contact injury. Nobody touched him. And that was reported on Locked On Lions, Pride of Detroit. They all reported
5 hours later that he was stepped on by a teammate. Even Main Event Mike read that.
I did read that.
Yeah, and I've
saying Adam Schefter, Tim Twentyman, Jeff Resden, and Carlos Montague, all those Lions and NFL beat writers missed the fact it was a contact injury, not a non-contact injury. If it was a non-contact injury, it would have been one of those 399 point.
All right, I'm erasing it off the calendar, Jeremy. You weren't technically wrong. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
What's the big news?
I'm not. Hey, whoa! I'm not even saying that this is right here. I literally got out this morning. I read an article that said it was a non-contact injury. This morning, I read something like that. So I'm not even sure on this. This may be blowing smoke right here, and I'm not 100% sure on this one right here. I found out that the Lions aren't making the Super Bowl, so all is normal. Okay, Steve Van Ness is trolling. That's it.
Ben Johnson last night said that 7th round pick Antoine Green is taking second team reps.
I like that. I like
that is big news.
That is big news if you think about it, because that means he's outplaying about 6 of those guys on the roster right now.
Well, like I reported a couple of weeks ago, in my mind, we had 3 number 3 wide receivers when it came with, Raymond, Reynolds, and Marvin Jones. I think that those 3 guys, none of them are number 2 anymore. Marvin ain't anymore. Like I think they would be competing. So a guy like Green to come and jump those guys, or a guy like Mims to come in and jump those guys and have a shot at number 2.
That's awesome.
That's not that far-fetched for that to happen.
Yeah, we were just talking about Denzel Mims, Jeremy. What do you like? You like his chances to make the team?
I like his, like you guys already said, I like his attitude in his interview that he did the other day. I like what I've seen so far out of the film coming out of camp. He looks crispy. He's running good crossover patterns for a speed guy. That's usually unheard of right away. So that means he has a higher route tree than everybody ever seen, because he played with garbage quarterbacks.
Even in college, he played with garbage quarterbacks. We've never really seen what this guy can do.
But he excelled at college. That's how he ended up the 59th pick overall. Right. Yeah. But when you go to,
you gotta love that shit. Yeah.
Here you
got
go.
A chip on my shoulder.
Dog watered Sam Darnold to start your career, and it was dog water in New York. You don't have much of a chance of shining. You could be the shiniest dog turd on the field and still not look good.
How dare you talk about Mike White like that?
The sad part is the best chemistry he had out of all 6 quarterbacks he had was Chris Streveler. And that was last season. Chris Streveler started using him. Oh, no. There goes Russell Wayne's Walmart internet from Xfinity again.
Did I cut out? Am I doing that thing again?
We can see and hear you fine now, but you did cut out for a second.
Okay. If you guys want to have the conversation right there, just for the cutout thing, I don't want to cut out. But I mean, I like the Denzel Mims pick. I like his attitude. I'll just keep it right there, and I'm going to shut my cam off and see if that'll help.
Yeah, I just wrote my opinion piece on it, and it's up at the Motor City Tribune under the South Florida Tribune.com. I said this was a win-win situation for both teams. Mims got out, and it cost neither team anything. As a matter of fact, it really cost Detroit nothing. We gave up a 6th-round conditional pick and got a 7th-round conditional pick back.
Yeah, trading down.
You could package both of those 7th-round picks and move back into the 6th to get a 6th-round pick if you need to.
Right.
So
and
it was
that
nothing.
Pick is conditional that Mims has to make the team
and play X amount of games, or it means nothing.
Steve Van Ness says, I don't troll, I roll with real news.
So what are you doing here, Steve?
Yeah, what the hell are you doing on our show?
Come on, there's no bad takes. Even when we're right, we're 75% wrong.
Right.
Yeah. Well, but that proves it right there. There's Steve. That's Van Ness. That's Mr. Van Ness. Obviously, he is a Packer fan. We know him as one of our resident Packer fans, and we love him.
As Bear Down Mike would say, that's Vanessa.
Vanessa.
that was Main Event Mike that coined that, but that's okay.
So Teddy Bridgewater came into town. I think he may even still be here. I mean, thoughts? You guys got some thoughts on Teddy Bridgewater being the backup quarterback here?
I don't want him here,
Uh,
but it'll probably be good for us. Go ahead, right, Jeremy.
I'm on the anyone but Suckfelt train, and seeing how Hendon Hooker is on the NFI pup list, all for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we could see Hendon Hooker, like, realistically, if it was past week 10, I think we could start talking about, okay, we're set at backup if he starts progressing. I mean, I could see it kind of like Jamison Williams last year. But they seem to believe in Sudfeld. I mean, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell come out publicly endorse the guy, say you learned the playbook, he's done a great job. And that if Bridgewater was even to come here, that he wouldn't guarantee that Sudfeld wouldn't beat him out for the job.
Well,
because Bridgewater still has to learn the playbook. And he also has to learn that proper no glare on the surface angle for Goff when he comes back to the bench, which Suckfeld does that perfectly.
Hey, you know what?
You know, Russ, I flip-flop more than a fish on the dock. And the more I think about it, the more I love Teddy Bridgewater coming here. And to Jeremy's point, anybody but Nate Sudfeld. What does Nate Sudfeld have to teach Hendon Hooker? Nothing. There's nothing he can teach Hendon Hooker.
He has less athleticism than Goff. He has less experience than anybody we've named.
Teddy Bridgewater standing there on the sidelines, just shooting the breeze with Hendon Hooker. He would be able to absorb much more learning, much more nuances of the game, so many things that Teddy Bridgewater has seen. He's been with so many teams. He's seen so many different cultures. I think having a guy like that, he also played in New Orleans with Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell on the coaching staff. So he has familiarity more with the playbook than we might think. A lot of the terms and stuff, Dan Campbell has admitted, comes from the Sean Payton system. So he might actually be more familiar than we think. The more I sit here and think about it, the more it's a perfect fit to be that veteran presence on the – I don't think there's anybody in this world that says, oh, put Bridgewater in over Goff, right? There's no competition. There's no pressure on Goff with Bridgewater there, but it's going to be better for your developmental guys sitting there on the sideline to have Teddy there than Nate Sudfeld. Let's bring Teddy in. The only reservation I had about it was Brad Holmes offered him a contract so long ago, and he's just been out there shopping around trying to beat it. It's all we can assume. And now he's finally in Detroit. That's the part of me that says, screw you.
Yes, and discount it. But what I'm saying is, don't give him the max part of it. Give that low-end contract.
You know that Brad Holmes ain't giving him no, like, high-end deal. I know Brad Holmes, he always gives these deals out where you know that he got the better end. Like Chauncey Gardner, Mosley, those deals were like, hey, come on. We're a contending team. Come on in. We ain't got a huge budget for it, but I mean, we could pay you like $6. Huh? What do you think about that?
Why do I look so wide? I'm not that wide. I'm telling you.
Because you got it on the phone setting. You don't have it.
Is that what it is? Is that why it looks like I got big man boobs and shit? I don't have big man boobs.
I'm not seeing your man boobs.
Like me.
Your man boobs aren't coming through on my end. I mean.
All right. Just making sure.
Oh man, we got some of our 90.
Mike, you want to know something? Fields made that because he can run. He didn't make it as a quarterback. Shut up.
I love it when you read a comment that I don't have. Yeah. He's just like running the show, and I'm like, okay, I can't even follow you. I'm like, can you bring that up?
I wish I could, but I'm not on your stream.
Oh God. I was just gonna kind of go in order here. So the Chad says 99% of my fellow Bear fans tell me I don't know anything about football because I question Fields can be a franchise quarterback.
Chad, I'm going to say you're one of the smartest Bears fans I've ever heard, because I would question it too if I was a Bears fan. Number one, he hasn't shown he's a legitimate QB yet. All he's shown is a 1 or 2 that read then run quarterback. Until he shows me he can read past the second option, I would not think he was a franchise quarterback.
What do you got on that, Mike?
He can be. He hasn't shown he can be a franchise quarterback, Chad. So you're absolutely right. I mean, all homerism aside, I already know that my quarterback can be a franchise quarterback because he's led a team to the Super Bowl. Don't give me any of that defense, Todd Gurley stuff. None of that. He led a team to the Super Bowl, and he led our team to a winning season last year. So I know my quarterback can do it. Your quarterback, however, has not proven that. Now, is the kid dangerous? He's very dangerous. Does he scare me as a Lions fan? You're damn right he does. If this kid becomes what most of those Bear fans think he can be, he could reshape the quarterback position in this league. He could be deadly. But we just haven't seen it yet. We're looking at year 3. If it doesn't pan out this year, I think they're all going to have to realize that the experiment has failed. And Chad, if they don't see that, I don't know what to tell you to tell them. There's plenty of room left on the bandwagon over here in Detroit.
Ooh, calls that out.
Tear Down Mike says, I'm taking receipts, Jeremy. Go right ahead. I'm giving an opinion. It's going to be right or it's going to be wrong. There is no in between.
Hey, and there's nothing wrong. If you're a Bear fan, and I'm turning my camera on for a minute, I hope that you guys can actually see me.
Yes.
But if you're a Bear fan, you have every right to be optimistic because here's the thing. He doesn't really need to be a great passer in order to be effective with how he can run. He just needs to prove that he can pass a little bit. Now, when it comes to trusting him to go to the future, well, he hasn't been a very good passer up until this point, and it ain't just been because he ain't a pocket passer. If they try to make him a pocket passer, they will fail. They need to play to his strengths, and that's on coaching. So his ability that comes out is going to come down to whether they can coach some plays to get around his skill set.
But Russ, unless they make him a pocket passer, he's going to have a short career.
I mean, he's not a pocket passer. They need to get him outside the pocket.
Is Lamar Jackson a pocket passer?
No.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Lamar Jackson absolutely is a pocket passer.
He can be a pocket passer, but he's a running quarterback into pocket passing.
Justin Fields, if he can fit that mold, he might stick around. If he can show that he can throw from the pocket, then maybe he can stick around. But if they keep him as a running quarterbacks do not last.
What I'm saying is that designing plays that get him outside of the pocket where he can take advantage of the skill positions that he has. Cole Kmet is a good outside the pocket, dump it off. DJ Moore's a good dump it off. They need to design stuff that gets him outside. He's not a pocket passer, but he does need to
develop.
He does have to be able to throw the ball from the pocket without being a pocket passer, but he does have to prove that he can do that a little bit. He doesn't have to do it all the time. Get him outside the pocket, put him in the run options, get the 230-pound running back build. So I do think he can take a more of a beating than your average quarterback that comes into this league.
And that was proven last year. He's the only running quarterback that wasn't injured all year last year. The only one. Name any other running quarterback, and they all got hurt, even Jalen Hurts.
We're about ready to lose Lions fans here. CR Mayo says enough with the Bears.
Okay.
We have Bear fans in the gallery. So and let's face it, they're the Bears. They deserve pity.
Jeong, she says Belichick took away the run in the Super Bowl and Goff couldn't do shit and lost. And that's where you're wrong, because if it wasn't for 3 drops, 2 in the end zone and 1 on the way to the end zone, the Rams won that Super Bowl 24-10. You know, there's reasons why. There was more than just Goff that was the problem in that game.
Well, and even at that, he did have a bad game. But I mean, if you look back at his NFC Championship of that same run, then you're going to see a different Jared Goff too. But you won't give him credit for where he's good. Everybody always wants to cherry pick the stats of whatever the belief is, right? You don't believe that Jared Goff is a franchise quarterback, Sarah, and you know what? That's okay. That's okay. You can believe that. You can cherry pick that one game. But you can also go in and say, this guy throws for 4,000 yards like it ain't nothing. He's always throwing for more touchdown.
We'll just try to guess what he was going to say.
That means Cousins is just as bad of a franchise quarterback as Goff because he can't even win a fucking playoff game. He couldn't even beat it. He couldn't even beat a team. He couldn't even beat a team that the Lions beat last year in the playoffs. You know, Lions beat the Giants in regular season, and the Giants tore you guys a new ball.
Well, Sarah, I appreciate the comment. And I think there's some validity to your point. But if you do go back and watch that Super Bowl of the Rams versus the Patriots, Brandon Cooks dropped a touchdown pass right in the end zone, like Jeremy said. And there was another one they dropped on the way to the end zone. So Goff was effective in that game. And leading up to that game in the playoffs, Goff was spot on. Even if you want to just consider him a game manager, it shows that he has the fortitude to take a team to the Super Bowl, and that was our only point. Appreciate it.
Right.
You're back, Russ.
Yeah, I was here, but you're frozen now, and I heard everything that you said, but you've been frozen the entire time. Is that the same thing for you, Jeremy?
Yeah.
He was frozen, but you heard everything that he said.
Yes.
Oh, it was a fantastic take. It was a fantastic take right there. And
I just get mad at people saying that Goff isn't a franchise QB. That it's not directed directly at you. It's just when you say stuff like that.
Well, it comes from the cherry picking thing.
You want frozen, and I'm the only one moving.
The Packers signed new wide receiver Cody Crest, Harvard. Oh, he's a fast guy. He runs a 4.35 40. Can he play wide receiver?
Yeah, he says he's a wide receiver. Prove to me he can catch from an NFL QB first, and I'll believe it, because I haven't seen a Harvard wide receiver do good in the NFL yet.
So let me do my best main event Mike impression right here. So the Packers signed a wide receiver that nobody knows that's really, really fast.
Woo.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you only get one on that one. He will. Okay, enough with the Bears. Okay, I know that we start losing fan base here when we start talking about the Bears. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Or the Packers.
Man, I mean, the Lions have a chance to go to the Super Bowl this year, and I've never been able to say that before in franchise history. Really, I kind of tooted that horn a little bit in 2014 when they brought in Tate and Bush, and we had the defense, and I thought it could be. I thought it could happen that year, but other than that, in 30 years, we haven't had much hope here. There's not been much hopium. You know, we ran all the hopium dealers out of town, and they became SOL fans. And you know, we have half of our fan base that just loves us losing.
Those of us that have remained faithful and always hope that the Lions could win, and with Vegas even saying that this is our best year since 1993, we bought into the hopium. We've got our bongs filled with it.
we got a couple new dealers in there. Sarah says, "Why are you mad? Goff, Cousins, Carter are the same." Yeah, actually, I'm mad because they are the same, and they're all underappreciated, good pocket quarterbacks that have always played well for their teams. But when they play well, you give credit to other places, and when they don't play well, you put all the blame on them. That's what those guys have in common.
I'm going to challenge Bear Down Mike here. How many wins in the playoffs does Cousins have? And how many wins in the playoff does Goff have? I guarantee you it's 4 times as many for Goff as it is for Cousins.
So we got some Goff love, and we got a divided. Is Goff a good quarterback? That's a great. I mean, stake your claim right now. Would you take Goff right now on your team? I mean, is he a good franchise quarterback? Or would you be looking to run him out of town at the first chance? Because everything else is good. Goff is just the beneficiary of all of the talent around him.
He is a beneficiary of a lot of things. Number one, we do have a talented offense around him. Number two, we have one of the best O-lines in the league to protect him.
Good.
Number three, Ben Johnson developed plays with Goff last offseason for him to be better than he was with Anthony Lynn. And I'm sorry, I could be OC, and Goff would have been better last year than he was, or his first year with Anthony Lynn.
Oh, is this the one that you were talking about right there, Barrett? Goff is a solid quarterback, but give edge to Cousins because he makes playoffs? Like,
let's see. He's been in the league 6 years, and he made the playoffs 3 times, and he has a 4-3 record in the playoffs. Goff has a 1 in forever in the playoffs, and the only reason why he won the one game he started is because Case Keenum threw the game-winning touchdown.
Well, I mean, Goff has proven that he can play well in the playoffs. Actually, the year he was traded, he won a playoff game, and he bailed out Sean McVay to win his playoff game again. And he doesn't get credit. Gutsy. He had like a broken thumb, and he still went in there and won the game. I'm not going anywhere. This is bear down. Hey, I love it, man. Fan hard. That's what you should be doing out there. You should think that your team's good. I know my team's good. I know that the Lions are going to be not going to be an easy win for anybody. Here's the thing. If you get a win against the Detroit Lions this year, you're going to leave with you walk over and then you limp back. Yeah. Yeah. I ain't no easy win.
No, that's the second time I've heard bear down, and I've heard 2 gunshots. Oh, wait, I live in Flint area.
All right. I'm putting shouts out right here. You have hope. CR, thank you for the comment. Thank you, Joshua, for a Go Pack Go. Love the show, guys. I love that we have a show that's at least engaging enough that we can have all the fan bases coming in here. Thank you, Steven. I know that we give you a hard time, you give us a hard time, but I do appreciate you watching. Isaiah, if we don't start hot, it will be rough. I actually want to hit that with you a little bit.
Yeah, I agree to an extent.
Hold on 1 second. Let's see if we can't get him plugged in here. Hello. Okay, that might be better. So now we got main event Mike in the phone session part.
Are you there, Mike?
Okay. All right. We have this thing working.
I don't hear him.
You don't hear Mike?
No. Did it not connect?
Okay. Jeremy can't hear. Then keep going here. Check. Go, say some stuff, Mike. Say some. No. Nothing.
Hey, Vanessa, and when Love loses to the Lions, you will hear Jay Giles bumping through the Ford field saying, "Love stinks." Yeah,
we're not getting you, Mike. I'm not getting it. I don't know why I'm not getting it, but let me see. Let me see if I can't get it in there. No, and can you guys hear? No, go. Say some more. Go ahead. No. Nothing there? Hey.
Oh, I did just the first 4 picks in the draft. Which dog water team in the NFL makes their biggest jump this season? Number 1 was Bears. Number 2 was Texans. Number 3 was Cardinals. Number 4 was Broncos. Guess what? Broncos is leading with 50% of the votes after 12 votes.
So are we hearing Mike at all?
I have not heard a word. Make sure I got my headphones all the way up. Yep, they're up.
No, we're not hearing it. I can only hear you, Mike.
For some reason, it's not going through. Maybe the channel volume's turned down or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe my BTA. I'm not connecting. I'm not very good with technology. Dang it. One of these days, we're going to get a sponsor for this show, and they're going to pay for like stuff like communications and like technology and stuff, because we're doing the best that we can.
But
See our Mayo eating kneecaps
every day.
every single day.
They're high in potassium.
When love beats the Lions, you will all be singing love hurts, love scars, love wounds, and harms all Detroit Lions fans. Man, that's optimistic. I mean, or you could be singing how love's injured because he got dropped on his head by Aiden Hutchinson like 3 times. And 2 times from Houston because you can't block our epic pass rush.
It's going to suck if Love becomes the first quarterback in the last 10 years to lose on opening day to the Bears.
The Bears? Yeah. I think you are going to lose to the Packers in week 1. I do believe that. But I do believe.
I think it'd be funny if Love loses to the Bears for week 1.
He could. He might lose to the Bears.
All of a sudden, when he walks out at home in week 2, you're going to hear, "Love stinks." Yeah.
Well, that you just used his joke that he said against us, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Bear Down Mike says Justin Fields will tame the Lions, crush the Vikings. Wow, man. Justin Fields does not do well against the Lions. Our pass rush ate you guys alive last year. And I don't think that you made enough adjustments because we got better on the defensive line too. Like you're going to face a better defensive line that crushed you last year. Like destroyed your offensive line. No answer for Aiden Hutchinson, James Houston. Oh my gosh, man. Justin Fields needs to prove that he can throw a football. I mean, he was pretty good in college. I watched him, and I'm an Ohio State fan. I watched every single throw that Justin Fields made in college. And he was a good college quarterback, but he don't got it yet. His accuracy isn't what it was. It's different. Game's faster.
Believe it or not, the best record in the North against the Lions right now, since Dan Campbell took over, is the Vikings. That's our biggest nemesis in the division. You can say what you want. You can act like you want, but that is the truth. We are split with them, and we're ahead of everybody else. Both the Bears and Packers, since Dan Campbell's got here, are 1-3. The Vikings are 2-2. That's our biggest nemesis in the division.
But 5 years from now, Steven, okay, who's the Lions' biggest nemesis? I believe it's going to be the Chicago Bears. I think the Chicago Bears are building something, and I think that these Green Bay Packers are in for a rude awakening.
Eric Thomas says, "Hey, now he made Hutchinson look bad and scored on him." Just saying, yeah, once, but guess what? That was negated with the sack and the interception he got in the second game.
LOL, Fields will be out by week 9 from running from his life all season. Yeah, if they don't protect him or he decides not to use his protection. I mean, he was actually not that bad blocked last year. He chooses to run the football in situations and chooses to run. So if he keeps on taking hits like he's been taking hits, yeah, he'll be dead by week 5. So here, now, he made Hutchinson look bad and scoring on him. It's like, if you read ahead of me, I'm going to read the same comment because I'm going straight up and down when I'm reading it.
Reading it, it comes up. That's all.
So, okay, there you go.
Why do we keep talking about the past season? Move on, Lions fans. Because there hasn't been a season started yet. That's all we got, Bear Down Mike.
At least we don't talk about 1985. I mean, come on, guy. We're talking about the most relevant season, which is this past season. We don't have games to talk about yet. We have training camp stuff to talk about. we love what's going on in our training camp. Our guys are starting out this year a year ahead of where they were last year. You know, all of the stuff that they learned throughout the year, now they get to add little nuances going through, you know, second year into a Ben Johnson offense. You don't think that we're excited about that? You don't think that the Lions players should be excited that, you know, they're building an offense around speed, 4-3 speed. And if you're a tight end, you're still running,
4-5.
4-5. I mean, these guys all break tackles, and they're protecting Jared Goff. Oh, Goff's going to be, he's going to be on. No, he won't be on his ass because they're going to be getting rid of the ball quickly, getting into playmakers' hands. And nobody wants to see Goff outside the pocket. Here comes Goff running for his life. No, baby hands. We don't want you fumbling the ball. We're going to protect you.
Through Timu, I bought him a panini maker and sent it to the locker room so he can make sandwiches behind the O-line while he waits for plays to develop.
Eric Thomas says, I definitely don't talk about 85. Well, okay. So you're 1 out of 99. And it like literally like all the Bear fan that when you talk to the one guy, he's going to say, well, I'm not like that. All the other guys are. No, I mean, you guys, you at least you have a title. I mean, the Lions can't say that. You know, we're still in search. Kenny, thank you for the comment. Fields will last if lucky 3 years. This running will lead to a career-ending injury. Yeah, for sure. And that's exactly why running backs are not getting paid like they used to be able to get paid, is because they take a beating. They touch the ball. And, you know, nobody wants to pay $10 million for a guy that, you know, is going to get hit like a car crash on every possession. Oh, Randy Moss kicked our ass. You talk about me and living in irrelevancy, Randy Moss?
No. Did you see the comment he said before? His high school team played against Randy Moss in the high school championships, and Randy Moss kicked their ass.
No, he says Randy Miss kicked their ass.
Yeah, but he was talking about Moss.
But Roy says that the Lions have never ended the season 8-2. That's why.
That's why we have a lot more enthusiasm for this season.
And it really is. It's like if you say SOL, I call bullshit on that. How do you say SOL? Because we don't beat the Packer and Lambeau every year. We don't beat 3 playoff teams handily
in a year.
In a year, in an away, you know, in their spot. It's like there was a whole bunch of shit that Lion fans aren't used to seeing that happened last year. You know, like at the beginning of the year, we had stuff on our bucket list like win a road game. Like check. Okay. Well, now they're starting to knock out. I mean, it's finishing 8-2. This team was hot, and this team got better too. Justin Houston in talks with the Bear, old but productive.
Yep, that's right. Justin Houston, formerly of the Chiefs, got cut as a cap casualty because they can't afford to pay him while they're paying Mahomes $45 million a year.
Okay, that would be a good ad for.
That would be a nice veteran ad to keep some of those young guys in check.
Because you don't have any pass rush right now. There's nothing there that's scary. I mean, Gibson's okay, but he ain't anybody that you're gonna like carry your defense with. You guys need a pass rush, so that would definitely help that room. Curtis Healy, we dominated the 50s. Yeah, you want to go on? We're going way back. That's the way back machine.
I mean, we got to hit the way back machine for our 4 championships.
That's right, like back
season of the Lions, and they can say we were established in 1930, but they weren't called the Lions then. They were the Portsmouth Spartans. In 34, they became the Lions, and in their inaugural season, won a world championship, and then won it in 51, 52, and 57.
So yeah, they did have a dominating 50s, and that they want to go back to that, man. Like 1985, we want to get into the Doc machine, go 85 mile an hour, and go back to 1957 to the dance. and we want to win a championship in Detroit.
And I just fell in love.
Detroit Lion fans deserve it. And is this one?
Yeah. I fell in love. J Mommy. Goff was second in the league at avoiding tackles, second to Mahomes.
Look at J Mommy coming in. That's like a deep cut stat. Right there.
Yeah.
You went that was like a B-side stat right there. You know, nobody listened to the B-side unless they're a really, really good fan, right? Yep. Put that B-side one too.
And I want to say one more thing about Goff that he does better than every active quarterback in the league. Play action. And a good O-line and a running game sets that up. He was number 1 by over 20 QBR and over 40 passer rating at play action.
So Steve says he believes the Packers are the youngest team in the league right now.
Them, and the Chiefs right now.
Okay. So
it's them in the NFC and Chiefs in the AFC. I don't know which one's younger, so I'm just going to leave it at that. They're tied for first in their conference. I have to go do some more digging to see their average age.
And how's this? Roy says that headed into week 18 last year, every NFC team was aware of the Lions and didn't want to see them in the playoffs, and they're only gotten better in the offseason. Yeah, that is why the Kool-Aid is flowing. You know, that the Lions defensively last year in the secondary were ranked 32nd in the league, and we actually had a good pass rush, but we couldn't cover anybody on the back end, and we had a complete overhaul.
We were number 1 in pressures, but number 19th in sacks last season.
So and that's adding in the 1-6 start too. So the Lions going into this season with a completely overhauled secondary with the pieces that they added in Sutton, Mosley, and CJ, GJ is that's significant. That is a significant overhaul, and I do expect a significant improvement on the Lions defense this year. Rob says that the Roaring 20s are coming back to Detroit. I love it.
2020s. You got it. There we go. Perfect.
The Roaring 2020s. Yeah. I love it. I mean, when you look back at that time, I always love movies that were in that time frame. It seemed like, the Frank Sinatra time, where it was classy to be good to women. Like, it was classy to treat people nice and chivalry. And
just like when Frank Sinatra, even though you could tell that we were driving in front of a screen, when the girl said, "Let me out of the car now," and he goes, "No, none of that.
We'll have none of that." Oh, Curtis says that what year in the 70s did we lose by a score to the 49ers in the playoffs with 4 turnovers?
1985-86 season. That was when Eddie Murray missed the field goal to win the game.
Gotcha. There it is. Right there. He was on it too. Like, Jeremy's so good on the histories right there. That was so quick. That was good, man. Eric says, "Holy shit, the Bears gave Kmet a 4-year deal for $60 million, 32 guaranteed. Spend that money. Make it rain.
Spend the money, make it rain, and not pay running backs, but pay a tight end that can barely block but receives good." Great job. Great job.
Wow. So now we have the tight ends are in the NFC North now, the ones that are getting paid. You got Robert Tonyan, you got Cole Kmet,
and TJ non-Blockinson.
and yeah, you're going to have to pay him top money. And then what was it? Didn't they sign a $8 million blocking tight end?
Yeah.
Wow, man, they spending money on the big men. All right. So, Jay Mommy, you got that right. Also, highest completion rate for it. And now we're back on the golf train right here, Jay Mommy.
Yes. Mommy. Much love.
I love Jared Goff even when he was playing in I loved his style. I had him on my fantasy team the year that he did go off. And And we went through and we dispelled.
Is that a play on words? Go off golf.
Go off golf. Hey, you know about what's been happening this golf season. So
And the golf fence looks terrifying.
the golf fence is terrifying, and offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, the designer of the golf fence, the offensive coordinator is going to be a head coach someday. And I love the way that this thing has been set around golf. That the thing is that golf is going to be good by less reasons that you would think that, like, it's not quarterback reasons. It is for the reasons that Jeremy had alluded to a little bit earlier, which was we have a great offensive line that knows what they're doing. They know where to block. These holes are going to open up. They're going to get the pass protection. They're going to be able to execute the play. And that's one thing that golf is really good at. When everything happens right and it happens the way that it should be, he executes the play. He gets the ball into the hand of the playmaker. But here's the difference. Here's the difference this year. The difference is that the playmakers that are on our team this year are much faster and they break tackles better.
Mm-hmm.
Under the same pretense, under the same holes that we're opening, the same opportunities that were afforded to Jamal Williams are going to be afforded to a guy that is twice his speed with twice the elusiveness and the ability to catch the ball. So I love Jared Goff as a distributor, and I love that J Mommy is on here.
Yeah, and she said the golf balls have been driving her crazy. He could win the Super Bowl and they would still want him gone. The only way I see Jared Goff leaving is if Ben Johnson leaves and they hire a coordinator that has more experience with athletic quarterbacks. That's the only way I see Jared Goff gone.
I really love your call of wherever Ben Johnson goes to be a head coach, he would probably take Jared Goff with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I hope that that's not anytime soon. I mean,
and we'll miss them both. Don't get me wrong. We will miss them both. There will be a drop-off level because you're going to go to a second-year guy.
Yeah, but here's something to chew on right here. What if this starts becoming like a trend? What if Ben Johnson decides not to leave and that he wants to be part of whatever this thing going forward, and then we get people like that?
As long as Ben Johnson's here, it's till the wheels fall off.
I love. Wait a minute. You know what? That actually deserves a 4-banger. That
your sound card is not working
at
all. That's the problem. That's why we couldn't hear Bear.
That'll tell me.
And now I don't hear you. Because I heard you pressing the buttons, but I didn't hear the button go off. Say something, Russ. All right. You're barely there, so you got to turn your volume up, but you're back in now. Speak. Let me hear you. Nothing. You were better off before. Okay. Vanessa, I agree with Steve Vanessa here. He says we all should go to Buffalo Wild Wings and hang out and have some wings and watch football. I'm all for that.
Yeah, especially if they pay for it.
Hey, I can hear you almost. That's amazing.
Now can you hear me a lot better?
There it is. Now I'm starting to hear you better. You're almost to my level. Just go up a little bit more.
Okay.
There it is. You're good.
Boom, 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 boom. All right.
Yeah.
So, how about this?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, that's exactly what Frank Sinatra said to that woman that was getting out.
Okay,
so
you heard
we'll have none of that. So give me the 4-banger again, because now we can hear it.
You like that? You like that? You like that? You like that?
There you go.
Yes. Yeah. There.
Okay. Now, I think that if Mike were to call, we'd be able to get him back in. I rebooted my machine, and that seems to have fixed everything.
Hallelujah. Technology does work if you do what you're supposed to do.
Hey, sometimes it happens a lot, probably when you're any kind of editing, is sometimes you just got to restart the computer and it kind of puts everything back in its spot right
Down,
there.
Mike, if Goff goes deep into playoffs, Detroit should trade him to get more draft capital. Only way I'm trading Goff is if he goes where Ben Johnson goes. That's it.
I mean, but couldn't that happen? I mean, I could definitely see Brad Holmes being respectful like that to both people. And that would be the best time to turn over to the young quarterback, is a brand new offensive coordinator with a brand new, like, you got a brand new skill set.
Let's be the devil's advocate here. Let's say that Ben Johnson stays, and drafting Hooker in the 3rd round is a great negotiating tool, regardless of the results of this season, to keep Goff's contract at $40 million or less. If you think about it, because all they got to do is say, hey, I mean, if you don't want to accept it, we'll just trade you because we got a guy that only costs us $1.05 million a year.
I mean, I could honestly see that happening, and I could almost see Brad Holmes going to Goff and being like, look, you know what this is. You know that this thing, it works. And rather than go somewhere else and get the big money, you could stay here and we'll keep you right at your 30 million, and we'll extend you 2 more years and add 2 more 30 million year contract. I think that he would offer him something like that. I think he would have the balls to offer him something like that. And honestly, I think it would be fair, because it would be a good trading chip at that point, where you had control of Goff's contract at 30 million for, to 2027.
Right. That's what I'm saying, is if we extended him 2 more seasons with a voidable contract year to trade out of after 3 years, so he's still in his prime and still has a lot of football left in him. And J Mommy's right. Goff already stated that he is financially secure because the Rams overbloated that second contract he got, and with fully guaranteed money, which is why we keep restructuring him and extending it out, because now he's got no more guaranteed money on that contract. That's why next season, if we want to get rid of him, it's 35 million off the books with no dead cap.
What I mean, and that is if you've ever played Madden football and you ran franchise mode and you get a guy at the end of his contract that has 0 money, that's dead, and it's like a dream. It's like a GM's dream, especially in the Madden pool. But this is reality, and Brad Holmes pulled this off in this contract, knowing that Goff was going to be here. Exactly.
2 restructures. They restructured him twice. Yeah. 100%.
And I think that the whole plan when they did the 5 or the 7-year deal was it's going to take 2 years to get it back to, actually, I think it was 3 years was the original plan. But then they hit on a couple of guys like James Houston, Malcolm Rodriguez, and that makes it happen a little bit early. They hit on a couple of those undrafted free agents like Jerry Jacobs that makes them arrive a year early. This was supposed to be launched 2024, and Brad Holmes did so good at his job, it ends up being launched 2023, and let's go. This is going to be the next 10 years like this. He set it up that way. We got 2-3 years left with Goff, and then it trades over to Hendon Hooker at that point, and then there's another 7 years after that. That's what he's setting it up for. Or longer. It's built from the studs up. We are breeding out head coaches and promotions.
That next comment by Sarah Zhang, Goff is good because of the O-line. If a team hires your OC, that means they are probably a shitty team and they won't have an O-line to protect Goff. You're probably right. They probably won't. But his offense is predicated not only around the O-line, but around Goff's strengths. So they'll trade for Goff and build that O-line that season prior in the draft and in free agency to make it good for him. That's what I see happening.
And because the the contract will be so affordable at that time. By that time, quarterbacks might be getting $60 million a year.
I mean,
and if you got a guy that plays like Goff at $30 million, you're going to be able to buy some protection for him because the deal works that way. Because being a GM has just as much as being a accountant and a bookkeeper as it is picking the talent. You got to be able to negotiate these deals. You got to hire a guy that's a whiz at making contracts. And from what you said is we got a badass.
Matt Dunstall. Matt Dunstall out of Harvard.
Harvard.
An accounting major, no less.
His Harvard execution of contracts is unparalleled to anyone else in the league. Oh, okay. Stevens, did you see that Justin Herbert's deal yesterday?
Yes, I did. Over half the money is guaranteed. It averages out to about $39.5 million a year for 5 years, and well deserved. But they already picked up his 5th-year option, so it doesn't even start till 2 years down the road.
I like it. I mean, I think that the 5th-year option would go out the window at the point where they renegotiate the new contract.
No,
the new contract would,
because of the rookie salary cap, the 5th-year option stays underneath that rookie umbrella. So it stays, it picks up in year 6.
So his new deal won't start to, and honestly, good for Justin Herbert for not going crazy on getting that money, because you like if you do start charging your team $60 million, you're crippling your team. You're really saying, I don't want a championship. I really just want the money. It's going to have to come from a point of sacrifice for a lot of these quarterbacks that are good. If they actually want to win titles, they're going to have to find it within themselves, because sometimes the restructures, that's one thing, but just straight take less money. Right. I think Herbert could get more money than that. Don't you?
Yeah, he could. I mean,
he could get 50 easy.
He could have got 50 because he's more talented as a quarterback than Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, or Lamar Jackson.
I mean that's bold. I mean, I would I probably wouldn't say that on all 3 of those. If you put a gun to my head, I might be able to say it like I like a quarterback better. So I would say maybe the Lamar Jackson. I like the way he plays better than Lamar Jackson. But right. Damn, I mean, Lamar Jackson,
better thrower. He's a better thrower than Lamar Jackson.
And
that's what I'm saying.
And he's more available. Curtis says there's a better place.
There isn't a better
isn't a better place than in the D.
And all the girls on 6 Mile say the same thing, because they can finally buy a jersey. They're happy to have the name on the back of it.
Oh my gosh.
You like that?
You only get one on that one. I'm supposed to be a good wholesome show here in the mornings. Which, by the way, I might as well go through my little gambit right here of everybody and just kind of and promote everybody. I mean, Jeremy B, that's that smoking Jeremy B, but the new, biting kneecaps with the Detroit Lions. You need to go subscribe to that YouTube channel, because he's building his page. We're building our Main Event 365 page. So go subscribe to these. We're trying to become world famous YouTubers, and that would be fun, right?
Well, Andrew Merklinger asks a good question here. It says, how many good years do you see Hooker having? Because he's already close to his prime. Prime starts year 3 in the NFL of every quarterback's life. That is the point here, Andrew. So you can't say because he's 25, he's already close to his prime, because he hasn't played in the NFL yet.
All right. So phone sessions every day, 11 a.m. Oh man, got me. You got me out of my mode here for a second.
Sorry.
So, NFC North, the huddle, the roast post of the week, NFC North open mic every single Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That would be 6 p.m. In the Central time. We're broadcasting live right here in the Detroit Lions news. Thank you, Joe Chap. Detroit Lions Villain Squad. That is our page. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Please share this content, man. This is how we get these avid football fans on July 26th in here talking some football right there. Bear fans. Mike the Bear fan. Hallis Hall report. And Bill the Packer fan. If you're a Packer fan, yeah, we don't like Bill the Packer fan, but he is the main event's resident Packer fan. And we love him as a person. We just think he has an awful choice in football teams. But that's okay. Because that's why we're here. Home of the bad takes.
Bear Down Mike asked a question about Jordan Love, about them giving half a season. Yeah, because they didn't pick up his fifth-year option. They already paid him for next year, but it's next to nothing in dead cap. So them giving him a half a season before an extension.
I'm looking for if golf goes on. Okay, which Bear Down Mike?
About the Jordan Love question. He had a question about Love.
Talk a little bit. Okay, there we go. That was on awesome. So talks of the Packers giving Jordan Love half the season before they make a decision. What does that tell you?
That tells me that they don't trust him yet, and they want to see what they got before they do anything long-term with him. And it's actually very smart. Yeah,
and I gave Gutekunst some props for the way that he handled the end of the Aaron Rodgers negotiations. I still think he messed up by not trading him last year and going it, but he made the most out of what he had. And then this deal, I praised him for this deal because it's less than what he would have had to pay for the fifth-year option. When you looked at the extension part, he was only giving away $13.5 million in guarantees when it came down to it instead of $20 million. So it was a pretty savvy move by the Green Bay GM right there, but that does prove exactly what Jeremy B was alluding to right there, is that your administration doesn't even trust your quarterback. But yet you guys out here running your mouths like he could be the third Hall of Fame quarterback. Your franchise doesn't believe it. Yeah, but you guys are still drinking that green Kool-Aid no matter what. Maybe we're drinking some blue Kool-Aid because our team got a lot better. But, you're drinking some green Kool-Aid based off of really nothing. Nothing. So you're reading something else. You're moving on me. Joe Burrow's deal will be now bigger. Yeah, Joe Burrow's about ready to they're going to have to back the truck up.
Yeah, they're about ready to lose a lot of players on the Cincinnati Bengals for how much money Joe Burrow will get paid.
And Sarah says, but I thought he was the next Hall of Fame quarterback. and that's what they think. That's what they think. And there's a chance that he could be that. But the moves that they're making GM-wise and organization-wise says that they don't believe that themselves. He gets half the season. If they really believed it, they would have given him an extension right now at the lowest that they could for 4 or 5 years, if they really believed that. Andrew says, how many good years do you see Hooker having, because he's already close to his prime?
And that's what I gave that answer that took you out of your mode.
Let me see if I can answer this right. How many years do I see Hooker's having? Because we're talking right now. They just traded Aaron Rodgers, who's 40 years old, to the Jets for like a first round draft pick. So quarterbacks age a little bit differently now, for one, because the rules protect them a lot more than, quarterbacks of old. So, and he just turned 25 years old, right? That's the knock on him, and he's already kind of there. I don't know. He's going into his prime. I mean, if he starts playing next year or the year after that, 27, 28, I'll take 5 years right there.
Yeah,
28,
he
31.
Doesn't even turn 26 till January. Everybody's freaking out over semantics.
And that's the thing, is like, guys, they can play till they're like 35 years old. I mean, he can play 3 years and not even start playing for 3 years and then sign a 7-year contract that takes him to, Kirk Cousins' age. Kirk Cousins is playing at a high level. He's in his mid-30s. It's not
He's
running back.
40.
What's that?
He's almost 40 compared to Goff.
So, I mean, the thing about the age, Hooker being too old, that's nonsense. Come on, guys.
I mean, he's almost 4 years younger than Goff. Goff turns 29. He turns 26. I mean, there's 2.5 years between their ages.
And here's the thing. If he doesn't play for 2 years, he'll be going on 27 years old when he starts playing. And I'll take the prime version of somebody for 5 years at 27. I'll take it. Easy. Done deal. There's no worries. If he's good, he's good.
And I think, and Sarah, Stephen S. is addressing Sarah anyways. Packer fans are going to come for Packers and GM's head.
Steve, that's why he's Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, because I said that thing about Hooker. Here's the thing. I care less when a rookie gets into the NFL. It takes 3 years before they hit their prime, regardless.
He said, damn, that's a 2-liter dude. Man, come on. Stop getting all personal. That's like low blow stuff. Come on. Sarah, Packer fans are going to come for Packers GM's head. If love is bad. Okay. And Rodgers wins a Super Bowl in New York City. I mean, I don't know. We just dealt with that as Lions fans. They traded Stafford. Everybody thought it was the worst thing in the world when they won a Super Bowl. But now when you look at the two teams, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that Matt Stafford would rather be on this team than that team. Unless he's
I'm telling you, during that 2021 draft, when he saw Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown come to the Lions, he turned his TV off, threw the remote at it, and said, "Those motherfuckers."
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely they definitely put all of their chips in to do that, and a lot like what the Minnesota Vikings did last year, by throwing a second and third round pick for a tight end. You guys were trying to put yourself over the edge to win a Super Bowl, and I commend you for that. But now you got to pay the piper. Now you have to, you have to sell off good talent. And you can sit there and justify it, Minnesota Viking fan. You can justify, hey, this guy, he was too much. Oh, he wasn't playing good at the end of his career. I'm sure that all of those great players that played well for you for many years all sucked ass, and you're better off without them. All of them. Kendricks, better off without him. Peterson, better off without him. It's like, come on, you guys have to deal. That's what this is. This is cap hell. That's what you're in. That's why you had to sell off all of your players. And the whole cycle will be complete once you sell off Kirk Cousins and get your rookie quarterback in there on the rookie deal so you can afford to pay your $40 million a year wide receiver. All right. No. They're just being very, very smart. Let's see. Andrew says, I don't know if y'all talked about if you would sign Teddy. We did talk about that, but what do you think about that, Andrew? And we didn't really throw that question out, to the people. And if the people are listening,
our opinions.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think out there about Teddy Bridgewater? I mean, Dan Campbell had came out and said that he was happy with the way that Sudfield had handled stuff. And let's be honest, what does a backup quarterback to do other than to get the second team ready, and your third quarterback, your practice squad quarterback, gets the third team ready? It's really just who they're practicing with during the week. And Teddy Bridgewater brings starter experience to your backup position. That's something we haven't had here since Sean Hill. There's a name out of the past. Is that an impressive name for you, Jeremy? Sean Hill. Man, but I don't know. I wouldn't be unhappy if they signed Teddy. I loved the reasoning that Main Event Mike was given with the the plethora of knowledge that he had from, different training camps and, different people that he's been around would be invaluable to Hendon Hooker, who's just trying to be a spoon and a sponge and has already proven that he has good leadership qualities out there with the way that he's like connecting with the other teammates and everything. So I would sign Teddy. I would have to lean towards, if it's me, I would sign him. But what would you think out there? Do you want to sign Teddy Bridgewater? I mean, that would be a sign that they are all in for the Super Bowl this year. You're making sure. Teddy Bridgewater can win you football games. I don't know if Nate Sudfeld is going to, if I'm going to feel too confident going out there if Goff goes down and, put it on the shoulders of Nate Sudfeld.
It's my quarterback.
I don't know how confident I am with that. Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, this guy was a starter in the league, and he's more like Hendon Hooker than Jared Goff is, and he may even, they may end up even liking Teddy Bridgewater better than Goff. Who knows? I mean, Teddy Bridgewater ran that Drew Brees type of offense when he was playing in New Orleans and spread the ball around and was accurate. So I'm not saying he would take Goff's job or anything like that, but he's a lot closer to Goff's skill set than anyone that they've brought in up to this point.
Right.
Hendon Hooker may have the talent to take that job straight from Goff because that's why they drafted him. They drafted these guys for competition. The Lions bring in Justin Jackson. That guy he was a game breaker last year. That dude made a lot of big plays,
especially while Swift was out.
So, I mean, and he was in there ahead of Craig Reynolds. So the Lions running back room battle, just got an uptick. That's a crazy battle right there.
Considering they only carry 4 running backs, and that's the fullback combined. We may not carry a fullback this year.
Jamison Williams missed practice, but they don't seem like it's anything too serious. Just taking precaution. And when we put the pads on, is that this week? At the end of the week, they're putting pads on?
It's either the end of the week or beginning of next week is when the pads come on. Yes. And that's when we're going to finally see what we've been waiting for. She says she was never a Bridgewater fan, even when he was in Minnesota. Even in his rookie year, when he won you enough games to make the playoffs and got hurt in said playoff game, you weren't a fan of his? That's sad.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty. The Kool-Aid, the purple Kool-Aid right there was flowing big with Bridgewater because that was your first round pick. Now, I don't know too many people in Minnesota that didn't like Teddy Bridgewater in his rookie year. Man, and Bridgewater has been kind of like a career backup everywhere he's went, but it's not like he was a career backup at a place where he was competing for a job, right? He wasn't going to take the job from Drew Brees, in his prime. When he went down to Miami, they started Tua Tagovailoa, but he ends up coming in and taking that job over because he's a lot more safe with the ball. He's more of a game manager when it comes to his skill set, even though he can run. So I've been a bit kind of a halfway Bridgewater fan, kind of following him through, going from place to place. Like Geno Smith, that was interesting seeing him go from New York, and he was a second round pick, and they had high hopes for Geno Smith, and he never panned out there. And to see these guys pan out like 5-10 years later after, being in 5 or 6 different training camps and, learning how the NFL operates, you never know. You never know these guys coming in. You guys throwing some names out of the past here, right there. Dante Culpepper, Eric Kramer. Yeah, I love it.
You like that?
Curtis Healy says absolutely sign Teddy Bridgewater. I still think we need to address the cornerback room. I don't know something. I feel like we have 4 solid corners, but what do we have after that? Well, let me go in order. We got Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley, Jerry Jacobs. Starling Thomas the fifth, Will Harris, Sevion Smith, AJ Parker. Okay, that's 8 that I can name off the top of my head, and that's without looking at the depth chart.
And that's without those. Not all those guys are going to make the team. Curtis, I love it. I love it. I mean, we need to address the cornerback. I love our cornerback room.
Let's talk about the safeties that can play cornerback that we got, because there's 3 of them. CJ GJ, Brian Branch, and Brendan Joseph.
Joseph might be a who. Like there's a couple guys on there you probably don't know, but these guys are good competitors. I don't think that cornerback is one of our deepest spots, Curtis. I don't think that you have anything to worry about there. I don't know if you need to throw another body in there. If you can get a big name or somebody that's out there that would come in and like compete for a 1 or 2 and move somebody off the bottom of the depth chart, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I don't think that we need it, because there's a lot of guys like Starling Thomas. I think this guy has a chance to not only make the team, but actually be special on a team with his speed and what he offers on special teams.
I mean, he has the exact same. Wow, I love this kid. Exact same 40 time as Mims. 5'10". That's a little on the low side, but it's close.
Let's see if I got one in here.
Also, he's about 180 pounds at 5'10". That's not bad, but most corners are about 190. And Chase Lucas is still here. Yes, that's another one. So that's nine corners right there. So yeah, so we're set at cornerback, and like he was talking with the position versatility, that's what you're looking. They're looking at that through a lot of guys. It's like, not only do I think that Brian Branch is a good safety and a good slot corner, but I also think that they're going to use him as like a fast linebacker because he tackles so well in space. So they position versatility, being able to disguise coverages is going to be a big thing this year. And no, Curtis, I think that we're deep in the cornerback. Curtis says CJ and Will Harris came in. Yeah. Let's see. Cabinda will be. Oh, this is going to break my heart because it could happen.
The Cabinda shout out.
We have to admit that it could happen. I'm not saying it will, but it's a possibility because we have.
It ain't bad considering that he can't stay healthy. You could be right, but if they do, don't be surprised if they do keep him because of what he does offer, especially on special teams. He was a huge special teams. So they would really have to not want a fullback in a big way, not to want to keep Cabinda around, but we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of young guys, man.
A lot of young guys that played that position at one point or another in college too. You got James Mitchell, and Justin Thompson, and Justin Jackson.
Yeah, that I think that you may be right, Andrew. It may be you could be right there with the addition of Justin Jackson, because Justin Jackson was a huge special teams guy, and he was a big contributor too when a lot of the running backs went down. So he was able to make a big impact last year. I did like him. How about the year that Breeze went down and Teddy took them to the playoffs? It's true. It's true. That's why we talk about this. Like, it sounds
That's why he's a competent backup. That's what he is. He's a guy that'll take you that 4 or 5 games and could give you a winning record.
Yeah, I would be for it myself. And it sounds to me like Curtis would be for it. What do you think? I mean, Teddy Bridgewater was in Allen Park, and we may need a back. There's no doubt that he would compete against Nate Sutfield for that backup job. So I don't see a problem in it.
And
Steven Van now. Yeah.
Riley Patterson is the accurate one, and John Parker Romo out of the XFL is the leg. He has the accuracy of Malik Willis, but he has a leg that can hit from 60 yards. So,
you know what I say, when you have 2 kickers, you have no kickers. So I'm feeling you on that. I mean, I would love to see them go out and get somebody that's, known, so we wouldn't have to worry about that part. Let's see. Stephen King says, I remember I remember. How about you read that one? My eyesight. I
Hey
don't have my
guys,
glasses.
I remember there was a lot of mock drafts with Bridgewater going first overall in the draft year. I'm not against signing him as a Lions backup, but I don't see him as a long-term sign.
Yeah, that's a great take right there. Thank you for that, Stephen. Curtis, Lucas is still here. Yeah, I backtracked a little bit. 9 TDs, 2 picks. I love Riley. I'm surprised they didn't sign him last year. Yeah, he was the accurate guy. You know, that, I mean, if I guess if you can criticize Brad Holmes on anything, it's that, you know, the quarter not being able to get a kicker in here that they could get. You know, they should have just kept Prater and went with it, you know, but nobody's perfect. We'll find a guy.
The bad part is we couldn't afford to keep Prater. You know, so that first year was a revolving door to the end of the season when we got Patterson. And for some reason, they decided to keep Badgley instead of Patterson in the offseason. Patterson goes to the Jags and helps them win 3 games, including one in the playoffs. So that's why we made the trade for him, because if you let him go to the waiver wire, we're 18th in the waiver wire.
Yep.
Commanders are before us. They would have took him.
Yeah, and 100%. That's kind of the exact same thing that happened with Mims too. They were about ready to release him, and we're like, "Hey, look, you know, we'll let you move up into the 6th round, and we'll go ahead and take that. If you don't go and make that go to waiver, we'll take him." And I'm excited that there's something that after I watched that interview with Mims, man, that made me excited. There's something about his swagger. And when they asked him if he had a chip on his shoulder, it was like, shit, yeah, I do. And he didn't say it, but he didn't say these words. But when he said shit, yeah, what I saw was, man, didn't you see Zach Wilson not throwing me the ball? Didn't you see Mike White not throwing me the ball? Didn't you see all these guys that can't throw? Oh my God, I'm so happy to be with a quarterback that throws 70% of his balls accurate. And then he may actually be able to use that 4.3 speed here. You know, they're going to be able to get him the ball in space. And he may, man, there's a feeling about that. I'll call this homer alert. Okay. If you're out there and you're a Packer fan or you're a Bear fan or you're a Viking fan, yes, I am going to go full homer right here. But I'm saying this right here, the trade for Denzel Mims will not only will he make the team, but I think that he's going to become the number 2 wide receiver, and he'll get over 500 yards receiving this year. I'm going out there. My homer take of the week: Denzel Mims makes the team and contributes. Something about it, though. Are you feeling me out there? If you're out there and you heard the words that were coming out of my mouth, is Denzel Mims not even a blip on your radar? And go ahead, feel free. Van Ness, go ahead, call me a homer. Tell me I'm dreaming. Say, who? Denzel who? The 2nd round pick from 2020.
The guy
the
who
New
was
York
picked,
Jets.
The guy who was picked 53 spots before the 2nd best wide receiver in that draft, named Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Were they in the same draft, or was it no
2021?
I think Mims was 2020. You have to check that, because I think that we got that one wrong. Someone called me out in a comment, and I went back and looked at it. Double check me, but I think that Mims came out 1 year before Amon-Ra did. But Kimberly, hello, Kimberly. I want to say hi to you too. Thank you for watching our show.
Damn. Yep, you're right. He is.
And what's up to Patty? NW Vogs, your protege, is in there. What is up?
Hello, Padawan.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Eric's still in there. Vogs said, I think Mims has a huge chip on his shoulder. Man, if you saw that interview, you saw what I saw. I mean, he was quick. Hey, do you got a chip on your shoulder? Shit, yeah. Like, he was like,
that's right. He missed the 2021 season is what it was.
So, yeah, but even at that, I mean, even if he was on the list, he would still be on like Amon Ra's list. He hasn't done anything near what Amon Ra has done. Yeah. So Mims was 2020, Mims was 2020. And Jason MC, Skull from Destin, Florida. When I was out
Jason.
on my rock band when we were touring, we toured from 1996 to about 2003. My booking agent was from Destin, Florida. Kevin Roberts booking agency right there, and he changed our life at that point. And it was a cool experience. I've actually played in Destin, Florida. I can't remember the name of that club. Like, I think it was called the Swamp. If you remember, if the Swamp is still there, let me know, Jason MC. It was 1996. But sorry, went into the Wayback Machine right there. And you know what? I don't know. I want to promote. Let me go ahead. I gotta find me something here.
Okay. I want to. Josh Rosen had a chip on his shoulder too. Yeah, but Josh Rosen had no talent.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that was that's what you call a first round bust. So I'm gonna be a little self promoter right here. But every Friday I got me a gig right here. So if you're ever in the Flint, Michigan area on a Friday evening, I play an acoustic show from 6 until 9 p.m. doing a bunch of cool stuff like Bob Seger, Pink Floyd, just singing some good sing-along songs. And then they close it out. If you're in the country, they do a 9 to 2. They do, country music, dance off, prizes and stuff like that. But God, if I saw one of the listeners on this show out at one of my gigs, I might even buy you a drink. Actually, I would say that I will buy you a drink if you come out to one of those shows.
Dave Fowler of Davison, come out to the show.
And then here comes Woody. Like, Woody comes in at the end where I'm like, I'm almost at the end of my.
Nope, you got 10 minutes, buddy. 10 minutes.
All right, we'll go 11-1.
I wanted to say that you guys probably noticed because you guys know everything. Cole Kmet signed that 4-year extension for $50 million.
$50 million, 32 guaranteed.
Wow. I gotta get now before we chime in on this, I want to get your first initial thoughts at that extension.
Wow. He's down on his blocking. His numbers were, he was number 1 in the receiving yards last year, but that wasn't saying much. I'm shocked. I thought they were going to wait. To see how he played out this year. That just shocked the shit out of me. So
you're not too jacked up about this, are you?
I'm good because like I said a couple weeks ago, last week, whatever it was, is that Cole Kmet's going to be the dark horse this year, tight ends. Even though we have all the weapons at wide receiver, we got to get our tight ends involved. So I am happy and shocked that the Bears did this early. Honestly.
Well, I want to help. See, I want to play devil's advocate, and I always play devil's advocate, and I will mix energies with everybody. But if you're a Bear fan out there and you have caution to this, just understand that when you do re-sign people, it's market value. It really doesn't matter production. It's just Cole Kmet's turn. Okay. The Bears needed to spend a certain amount of money, and why not give somebody that's helped contribute to the rebuild up until this point and treat your own guys. Now, it may be an overpay by the stretch of his production, but here's the thing. It's his turn to be paid. And now he's gotten paid. Now other guys like TJ Hawkinson, they're going to be asking for their money. They're going to try to get even more money than that. So
I'm wondering if this will affect going out getting their edge rusher that they want.
Right. That was the thing I wanted to ask you about there, Woody.
Well, I asked you, Jeremy. Since I'm asking you.
Cap-wise, yes, I think it will. I think you won't be able to get somebody like Yannick, who is still young enough to be productive in the right scheme. I think it means you're going to end up with a lesser edge rusher, and that may hurt the defense in the long run because you guys needed a proven commodity, not a question mark commodity. And now you're to the point where you have to sign a question mark commodity.
The question mark that I had yesterday, we signed Buddy Johnson, the linebacker from Pittsburgh. Only played 4 years in his career, and he was drafted in 2021. That
screams injury.
Do you know what
prone.
the numbers are?
Nothing.
No. I mean, what the numbers of how much money they paid him?
No. They just said they signed him, and again, the Bears signed Isaiah Ford too, the wide receiver out of my Hokies college, and he played at Miami last year. So I don't know if they're trying to sign backup positions if they get hurt in training camp.
That is exactly what it looks like they're doing, because Isaiah Ford was a guy that I was high on that ended up becoming a UDFA. And the reason why is I look at that Kent Platt, who's known as the Math Bomb on Twitter. He's the one that developed the RAS score for athletes coming out of college and the combine. And there has only been 310 scores since he created it. And that was going back in the draft and reevaluating everybody to 1997.
So
and
if
Isaiah Ford, Bryce Ford Wheaton, Troy Anderson of Montana State, Christian Watson, and about 6 others just these last 2 drafts had 10 scores. And Isaiah Ford was one of them because he has the height and the speed. But it doesn't take into effect their stats. It's just purely about their intangibles, what they have athletically.
And I still think, Yannick's out there. I know he's going to be, I think he's 28 years old. But if they want to go out and get a edge rusher and, Yannick, with his, what he wants and stuff like that, Justin Houston's still there too. And the Bears I just read yesterday that they're interested in him.
Yeah, Justin Houston is actually visiting Chicago today.
Yeah. So
let me ask you this though, Woody. Like, if let's say you don't sign a edge rusher, who on your team that maybe the audience might not know about might actually surprise and actually become a pretty good pass rusher?
I mean, Gibson had a good not last year, but the year before. When he was with Robert Quinn, he had I thought he was going to take the defensive edge rusher line over.
Well, I should have said besides Gibson, because Gibson's actually kind of proven to me. I mean, somebody that is off the radar that might be a second-year player or might maybe even like Gerwin Dexter or somebody that they drafted this year that you might have hope in.
On the defensive line or defense itself?
You're saying pass rusher, right? Yeah. Like, is there somebody that maybe that we're not thinking about?
I like Justin Jones. His numbers could have been up last year, but he caused havoc on that defensive line. Runners would not go towards him and would push him to the other side, and our other guys would hit him. But I expect a big year from Justin Jones this year.
So how is he a young player?
Yes.
I mean, okay. So those are the things that are the intangibles, right? The things that Bear fans are thinking about that maybe not the other 3 fan bases are thinking about. And just because you don't know who the guy is, it don't mean these guys aren't going to break out in their second and third years.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he's not too young, but he's 26. I think he's 25, going to be 26. But I'm really hoping he has a big year. I think our defense is going to have. What's that?
I said that's perfect. I mean, right there, though, that's like the sweet spot because these guys that are 25, 26, they've been in the league for 3-4 years, and they've been adjusted to training camps and stuff like that, so they know how to be a pro. So it's almost. And I was so yeah, I was so pissed off that the Bears got rid of Bly Nichols. He went to the Raiders. Oh, did I love him?
he caused so much havoc in that middle of the line. Oh, I was just him and Eddie Goldman was just terror on that line, but got rid of both of them.
I'm going to say right now, because of what Nick Wright said the other night, the Bears fans, please be prepared to be disappointed because he predicted y'all to have an 11-win season again 2 years in a row.
Be a homer. Be a homer.
I know
there are homer fans on every fan base. Like London says right here, says Chicago is way overhyped by some of the fan base. Like there are some people, like there's a piece of the fan base that are in the belief of where Woody is, where it's more of a realistic approach. Like Woody can look at this as a 7-8 win team. That would be a good improvement.
Yep.
A step in the right direction, and that maybe you 11-12 division winning playoff Super Bowl MVP Justin Fields people can pump the brakes a little bit, you know?
Yeah, these overhyped Bear fans wouldn't be overhyped if we didn't have DJ Moore. They're thinking DJ Moore is the answer to all our whole team. No, it's not. No, it's not. He
is a answer. And if you're a Lion fan, or you're a Viking fan, or you're a Packer fan, and if you are underselling the fact that DJ Moore is the number one receiver for the Chicago Bears, you may be in for a long season. Because
I said you should be doing a little bit of this, thinking about DJ Moore against any corner in this division.
Justin Fields is very, very good at escaping the pocket when you're trying to get him. When he gets outside of the pocket, that's where DJ Moore is his best. He will find an open spot in the middle of that defense, and Justin Fields will have an outlet that he can trust. He may not run every time, and if he starts dumping the ball off and realizing that you can play defenses to your run and pass, it could be a long season, and Justin Fields could be that guy.
And the only caveat to that is the new rule about running quarterbacks.
Yeah, RPO.
Because if he tucks that ball like a running back and leaves the pocket, he can't go back to a quarterback stance. He has to run.
Even behind the line of scrimmage?
Even behind the line of scrimmage. He cannot make a forward pass at all.
Oh God! How many tuck rules we're going to have this year?
A lot. I'm just saying that's the new rule.
That may mean that you're going to have quarterbacks running out of the pocket, not protecting the football a lot more, because they don't want to give up their pass option.
They just can't tuck it. If they tuck it like a running back, they have to run.
Well, so what you're saying is when they protect the ball, then they have to run at that point.
So what's the penalty yardage for that? Did they say?
It's a 15-yard illegal.
Wow, what the fuck?
Come on, man. Really? That's too much.
Yep. If they set their feet and throw the ball forward and do a shuffle pass or a pitch it forward to a running back, it becomes an illegal forward pass.
Now I definitely want to see Goff running out of that pocket. I want to see him running downfield.
Yeah, for sure.
I know you do.
Well, hopefully Goff just makes the decision and doesn't do much with that. But what I really want to be able to see, this is going to create a lot more turnovers because you're going to see a lot of the quarterbacks running out of the pocket with the ball unprotected. To where people can come from behind and, swat the ball out of their hands.
Yes. Like I was just going to say, there's going to be a lot of quarterback fumbles this year by that defensive edge rusher or interior lineman going behind, running behind a quarterback. And if he's like this, they're going to swipe it right out. And it's, wow, 15 yards. Holy shit.
Albert Tucker, I didn't know that rule. That's a crap rule. I hope that you're right on that one. We're trusting Jeremy B from the biting kneecaps with Detroit Lion on that information right there. And
I'm saying if they tuck it to protect it, you can run with two hands on the ball like a quarterback and to protect it. You know what I'm saying? So you get your feet set. So that's how they're going to have to protect that ball from now on if they're doing a rollout type of pass.
Now, I did see a YouTube video where a guy was like explaining those one handoffs where the quarterback would stand and then the running back would run in front of them and they would hand it. You're not going to be allowed to hand the ball forward like that anymore. It's got to go behind you.
Yes,
That's like an RPO, because that's like an RPO.
That's
Right.
all part of that rule.
Wow.
And there's a lot of teams that ran play action out of that deal because you couldn't tell, if they were, handing the ball off because their body was in between it. So with them
is there a new rule? Is there a new rule in the NFL too about kickoffs that you can down it in the 5-yard line?
No,
within the 5.
The new rule on kickoff is that they call a fair catch anywhere behind the 25-yard line, just on kickoffs, not punts. Let me clarify. If they call a fair catch, it automatically comes out to the 25.
Holy mackerel, man!
Yeah. Well, that's college, right? That is
absolutely
an college rule right there.
And they
brought
it into the NFL.
Yeah. They've been trying to eliminate that kickoff because most of the injuries were happening on that because it's, you pretty much got, 10 guys running at full speed at a dude and they're running full speed trying to get through, and the collisions would be crazy. I mean, could you imagine running 50 yards and have a 50-yard?
It's because of the injuries too. I don't want the kickoff too, and I'm sick of the block behind the back calls. Oh my God. It's like
some of them are not blocks behind the back. They're like beside them, and they're not even hitting them in the back, and they're calling it wrong. You see that all the time.
Yeah, it just gives more control, Albert, so you don't run the ball. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say with this is like we're going to have to see this year. I'm going to call this as we're going to have to see rule because I don't know how they're going to police this rule. We don't know how they're going to police this rule, but it is a rule that they are putting in this year. So we'll have to see. I mean, are they going to be real strict on this? Are they coming after people? Is this
I don't even like the overtime. I don't like it.
I've got to get out of here. It's time to go to work. Have a great day, guys. Make sure you check me out. I go live tonight with my NFL show at 8 p.m. Friday night, I have my Lion show at 9:30, and Saturday I have a new show going over the depth chart. Just me talking a talking football head for you guys to listen. Giving a little player profiles each position each week.
Oh, yippee do, Jeremy. I want to be there for that.
Well, Jeremy, it's always great to have you. It's biting kneecaps, Detroit Lions style. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel, baby.
Biting with the Detroit Lions. Also, check me out on the SouthFloridaTribune.com where you'll see my writings about the NFL and the Lions. I have a nice 3-piece article set about the NFL gambling issues, and it's less about the Lions than it is just about the issue with the ruling the way it was done last year.
Right on. All right. One more.
Yeah. I know you have to go too. I just wanted to come in and announce the Cole Kmet, which was, like I said, happy and shocking for me. But come join the panel. I'm on the panel of the House Hall Report. Me, Mike the Bear fan, Mr. Ken Doby, as we all know. During the season, we're broadcasting Wednesday night, 7:30 Central Standard Time, and Sunday mornings right before kickoff, and it's 11:30 Central Standard Time. But for right now, we're only doing Sunday mornings up until the season, 12:30 Central Time. So come join us.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it is a good show. I did get a chance to pop on there, and it's good Bears content. If you're into good Bears content, I go on there. I'm pretty objective when I go on there. That's not going to be any type of trash talking or anything like that. This is just good Bears information. They'll give you updates on the training camps, any of the injuries, if there's anything brand new, like he just popped on right here. We want to be able to at least have correct news. So if we are incorrect, feel free to call us out. We're not ESPN. we are just a bunch of talking heads that like football, and that's what we do. But
absolutely,
it's nice to have you. It's nice to have you on here, Woody.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be on tomorrow, regular time. I just had some stuff to do, so
right on.
I'll be back on.
All right. Will you have a good one? All right, that's Woody. That's Woody from the Hollis Hall report, and very knowledgeable. And I would call Woody the realistic Bear fan. And there are realistic Lion fans that are out there too. And realistic Lion fan would say, man, you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs on the road, and then you got to play a playoff team that beat you and scored 48 points on you last year in Seattle. And then I might be a little bit scared about that. So realistic Lion fan, you really have to put that into perspective. But I would say the optimistic Lion fan says that if they can go into Kansas City and pick up a W on the road against the defending Super Bowl champion, then that would put you in a spot where I would think that you've arrived. You've arrived there. And but I appreciate everybody for listening. I appreciate everybody for being on. I mean, this is avid football fan. You have to be an avid football fan if you're listening to me talk right now, because it is July 26th. I don't care about basketball. I don't care about baseball or any. I mean, I may look and see what the Tigers, where they're at in the standings or something like that, but I ain't going to spend any time talking about it, because we talk football here. Football 365 days a year. I got to say thank you to Bill the Packer fan, Mike the Bear fan, every Viking fan that comes on here, the Detroit Lion News for allowing us to broadcast into their spot. We do this every day, 11 a.m. Eastern time. We're in here running our mouths about football, giving you some training camp updates and whatnot. But my name is Russell Wayne. This has been NFC North Football Talk with Russell Wayne. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making us one of your listens every single day about football. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love. One pride.
You